If you don't spend the time and effort on crafting a nicely designed Shopify store, you can forget about making sales with that store because your store design is something practically everyone sees before they purchase your product. And it's also what they use to navigate to that important checkout page. So in this video, I'll go over the exact store design layout and design essentials you need to know about with examples so you're able to skyrocket your Shopify sales. So the best way to show you the must-have Shopify design essentials to implement in your own store is to just simply show you on screen. So the first store we'll deep dive into is a store called Alo Yoga. So getting stuck into it on screen here, I'm gonna go through why the store is great and a few more examples other than this store. But before we get started, let's quickly check using this Wapalizer tool here that it's actually a Shopify store. So you can see here that it is indeed a Shopify store. And this tool, by the way, highly recommend that you use it and grab it. It's completely free and you can install it as a Chrome extension. It gives you a whole load of back-end data on basically any website. So to get started, as you can see, the homepage is very clean. It's product centered, and below here, you can immediately see that they have the Instagram social proof and then the bestseller alerts. So really simple and clean store. It's a large product catalog, so it needs to be as clean as possible simply because there's so much to display here. But I want to show you what they do so well. If you look at their product catalog right here, which is just the yoga mat, you can see that there's a consistency with their product imagery. So they don't have, like a whole load of different product shots, but it's all the same product shot, but just with different variations in color. So this is something to be really wary of if you have multiples of products, or you have variants, or you have a large product catalog. It's really important that you display these items as clean as possible. And this can be achieved really simply through product imagery. And if we jump into one of these products as an example, the product page is even better in my opinion. So you don't see any product description on the side here, right? You just see the product imagery, the name, the price, the variations, and simply add to bag. But if you do need more information about the product, like most of us do, we're likely going to scroll down below above the fold. So this is where you get the description, the fit, etc., etc. But this is a really, really nice and clean setup of the product page. And what I really like about this store as well is that they include videos within their product images. So this is not a requirement, but as you grow, I think this is something that most stores should look into, and it's really easy to implement on your own Shopify store. You can easily upload just a video into the image catalog. I think one of the things that you'll notice really quickly with the examples I'm giving you today is that the product images is a core element of all stores. Now understand, it can be really expensive to take images, get a photographer and get really professional photos. So I want to show you a quick hack, and I've recommended PLACEIT many times, but it is so essential for a lot of the stores that I run and the businesses that I run. This is such a simple way to grab images and mock-ups and designs without needing to hire out, a studio and a photographer and get it professionally edited, etc., etc. You can immediately mock up a yoga mat as an example and upload that immediately, and it looks superb. So I've just uploaded this logo here as an example. This is our logo, and I'm just going to click crop, and you can see that it immediately adds onto this yoga mat. And you can change the background to be transparent. You can change background to be, green, teal, whatever it might be. And this in itself is going to save you so much time. So PLACEIT is a huge integral part to really quick mockups. And it doesn't need to be a yoga mat, obviously. They have a whole load of different products that you can mock up. If this is a tool that you're interested in, I'll drop a 15% off code down in the description box below for you to check out. Moving on to the next store now. This is Chaos. It is an advanced print on demand store. It's pretty straightforward, ridiculously simple and clean. One element that I really appreciate is that they have a floating transparent header on top. So if we scroll down, you see the section up here with their logo and the hamburger menu here. If we scroll down, it's sticky, it follows you, it shows you, where you're at, the brand, the cart, the quick search button, and the hamburger menu. Incredibly simple, but important. These things all add up to create a really enjoyable store experience. The UGC here, which is the user generated content, is a big part of this store. So under here, you can see that they have a almost Instagram-like feed of different products and also user generated content in this section. It depends on the type of product that you're planning to sell, but UGC is so incredibly important. Really easy way to show off your product and create that social proof. Big part of this is personalization. It's having your initials on these phone cases. So let's jump into this product here. This is such a simple product page. It's a step-by-step process because it is all about customization and print on demand. You select your case size, whether it's an 12 Pro Max or whatever it might be, your case color, your initials, you type it in, and I should update on the fly, I think. Yeah, so having a preview and having a mock-up of your product is, again, so important. I just mentioned this, but it is so important. And if you're wondering, how do you get this step-by-step customization process? Well, there's a lot of different approaches you can take when it comes to that. But one of the options that I recommend is infinite options, which is a very easy solution where you just install this app and you get a whole bunch of different options that you can customize. There's actually a free way to achieve this if you're a bit adventurous and you want to learn how to code. So this is an example store that I found where they use liquid coding to get all these custom attributes and features in. So if you are experienced with coding or liquid coding specifically, and you want to save a few dollars every month, then this is a great approach too. I'll probably leave a link on how to achieve that. Going back to this store now, you can see it is a step-by-step process up the top, and really there's nothing distracting you here. It is, again, just focused on adding to bag. That is it. If you want to read more, there is a waterfall function here where you can see the different details and delivery returns and whatnot. Contrary to popular belief, you don't need a long essay about your product, especially if it's a very simple product like a phone case. There's not all too much to say about it. And you don't need to sell it too hard and talk about how fancy the materials are and whatnot. Like, chances are it's not going to be. Like, you need to rely on other things like customization, user generated content, marketing off the store, all that good stuff. And really, the product page is to be focused on simply just getting the sale, getting people to add to bag, and enjoying that seamless transition from adding to bag to checkout, and that is it. So moving on to the next option here, NerdWax. This is a great example that I want to show you because we're moving on to a one product store. The one product store typically uses the home page as the sales page. That is because you have this one product that you're trying to sell. So you want to create a journey when it comes to understanding what that product is and why people should buy it. This is a great approach, and I want to use this example because NerdWax has a very sort of like transitionary, seamless experience on the homepage when it comes to understanding what this product is. So NerdWax, if you take a look here at the top banner, your eyes glance down at these checkboxes, right? And you start to read what it's all about. Stop slippery specks and sunnies from slipping, essentially. And then the USPs, the unique selling points of why this product is so great. And naturally, your eyes glance from left to right, in Western countries anyway. So looking at this, all natural ingredients, easy to apply on, works on any glasses. These are the USPs that they figured out and they're illustrating on their home page. And the next thing is immediately just an add to cart button. So you're able to purchase the product after reading all these items. If we scroll down a little more, there is some social proof. It's been featured on Shark Tank, BuzzFeed, etc. If your product isn't featured on these media outlets, that's completely fine too. You can just focus on customer reviews. You can focus on videos as they have here and how to use your product. That's simply it. One of the things that I wanted to point out though is there is really no need to have the product featured again at the bottom when it's just appearing already up here. So that's something I would probably change about this store. But if we go into the product page now, very simple page, all right? There's barely any description. It's just very short sentences, and they include the ingredients, etc., etc. Big emphasis on cross-selling, upselling, downselling here. But overall, it's a great, very clean, minimal store. When it comes to approaching designing your Shopify store, people tend to overcomplicate the store. People tend to shove like everything down your throat in the hopes that you're gonna make a sale. But it's counterintuitive. Just make sure that you're conveying the most important points, the most important images. And going back to PLACEIT again, well, let's just click search here and go with iPhone, mock up iPhone case. You'll be able to see that you can essentially mock up something instantly as part of the product images. And so instead of like, setting up a table and getting all the lighting ready, which takes forever, these are ready to go. And they're almost just as effective. I mean, I've used these plenty, I've tested it. If I upload a logo here and click crop, you can see it immediately places onto the phone case, and you can even change the phone case color. Making sure that you have high quality images, I think, is like half the game when it comes to Shopify store design. You can't revolve a great store design around bad product images. So it's something to be completely wary of when you start to build out your store. So jumping onto my own demo store now, I'll guide you through the updated must-do design tactics you should have in your own Shopify store now that we've gone through a few examples. And the first thing I want to show you that you should know is to make sure that you compress your images. Compressing your images is underrated in my opinion, because compressing your images ensures that your images look great, but at the same time load really quickly, and this is going to impact your speed score. So if we type in image compression, this is probably something you should get straight away if you already don't have one. So just going into Image Optimizer as an example, all right, what this does is it's going to compress every image that comes through your store automatically, all right? And then it's going to decrease the file size of these images while still retaining the quality. You can do this manually, technically, but firstly, it's gonna take a lot of time. And secondly, it probably will look crap if you don't optimize them correctly. So that's the first point I really wanna make. The second point is, if you're starting a brand new store, right? There's new themes that you should really be using. And I wanted to point this out because the new Shopify OS 2.0 system basically means that themes are faster, they're more up to date with the designs, and it's essentially Shopify's new themes. So right now it's pretty new. So the only free theme is Dawn under OS 2.0, but I believe they're going to be releasing more soon. So that's something that I wanted to point out as well. If you have a completely new store or you're thinking about migrating to a new theme, then go ahead and check out OS 2.0. It will be worth your while. The third thing I want to mention is to make sure that you actually have a logo in place. I know this sounds kind of common sense, right? But I think you'd be surprised how many people don't actually use logos at all. And a tool that I recommend, again, going back to PLACEIT, I feel like PLACEIT literally does it all. They have a logo design tool. So you input your name of your brand here. So let's just type in as media as an example. And then you're gonna pick your industry. Let's just go with technology and click let's go. It's going to automatically generate a whole heap of logos they suggest you use. And of course you can go ahead and customize it yourself. But the point here is like, make sure you use a logo, because a number of stores that I've reviewed that do not use a logo or use the generic like text logo, that is going to hurt not only your store design and appearance, but also your overall marketing and branding. Ensure that not only does the store look nice, that is UI, that's user interface, but also user experience is really important. So UX. How do people navigate through your store? How do people interact with your store? So going back to, looking at this as an example, Allo Store is such a large catalog. It's so important that you correctly navigate and structure your menu in a very well thought out way. Something that I've recommended in the past is that you create like a mind map first of all your products and see what slots into which menu and what makes sense. And make sure that you build that out. You take the time to build it out on the Shopify backend, and you don't just have random menu bars floating here, as you can see in my demo site. And then once you've built out your structure, you can go ahead and copy a store, but don't copy it verbatim, and ensure that you add your own flair into your store. Creating your own flair and character comes down to the types of images that you use, the type of copy that you use, and the overall theme that you use. Using a color palette is extremely important. And so my recommendation there is that you go onto Google and just type in matching color palettes, and it'll give you an example of different color palettes that suit one another, and go ahead and just stick with 3, maximum 4 colors in your store. You don't want your store looking like a rainbow. So here you can see it's simply black and white. Like, that is it. The only color element is really in the products, and that's it. And the final thing that I want to mention is that use a CRO tool, which stands for conversion rate optimization. What I'll do is I'll link a full video guide to using a CRO tool, because this is by far the best way to actually see if your Shopify store is designed well, by getting feedback from users in the form of heat maps, video recordings, and things like that to increase your sales and conversions. It's one thing to think that this is how people will interact with your site, but it's an entirely different thing altogether seeing users actually interact with your site. If you made it this far into the video, make sure you drop the code word comment blueprint, and I'll like the comment. If this video has helped you out too, make sure you drop that like. It's always really appreciated. And also don't forget to claim that 15% off PLACEIT purchases if you need quick product mockups, designs, and also logos. Thank you, PLACEIT, for sponsoring this video. And as always, thank you for watching.